Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to a new episode of Let's Talk About It. On today's video, we will be talking about all the Scream 7 news that has come out about their two major stars not going to be available, one not available to film, one fired, and them thinking that they might need to go in a different direction for the franchise. And we'll also be talking about the recent news of the Superman Legacy casting and what I think about it and how I think this cast is turning out and why this might be one. This could be one of the great superhero movies of all time. But yeah, let's talk about it. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Here we go! Say yeah! Woo! Oh, that's a great line. That is a great line.
Almost fucking killed me! You're welcome!
Alright, guys. So, let's get into it. Our first topic today on today's show is we'll be talking about Melissa Barrera, how she has been dropped from Screen 7 due to her social media posts on the Israel-Hamas conflict going on. Alright? I'm not a person to get into politics, you know. I know what's going on and all that, but I think as an actor you need to watch out for what you say. Watch out for comments you say, because there's always two sides to a story, you know. By saying you support one side is by saying that the other people, that you don't support other people. And as an actress and as an actor, you have a lot of political swing, you know. Not that people will listen to probably, you know, if like a big name actor like Ryan Reynolds or Samuel L. Jackson said, hey, this milkshake is the best milkshake I've ever had, you're going to say, oh, Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds said that's the best milkshake they ever had, I'm going to go try that. And so actors are very much in the sphere of saying these things. So a report came out, basically what I said, that she has been dropped from the movie, which, you know, I think her career was just getting started. And I say this is not a major thing, you know. She can still come back, you know, from this. And I don't say she did anything wrong. She's not doing anything wrong, in my opinion. She's just voicing her opinion. Her opinion. And maybe there's people who don't agree with her opinion. But I think for the franchise, it's best that they drop someone, because now when that movie comes out, it's going to be hit with backlash about it if she's in the movie. And she's not going to be in it. And, you know, Spyglass did come out with a statement saying that we have zero tolerance for anti-Semitism or the incitement of hate in any form, including false references to genocide, ethnic cleansing, Holocaust distortion, or anything that frankly crosses that line into hate speech. And also the director came out, Christopher Landon, which I've never really seen any of his work, but he said everything stops. Everything sucks. Stop yelling. This was not my decision to make. Which is basically saying, like, this means they have to do a complete overhaul of everything for the franchise. And, you know, maybe this was just part of, you know, maybe she's this type of person. I don't know the actress. I don't know anything about her. I'm not going to say anything bad about her because, you know, she put a lot of hard work in the screen. But you got to watch what you say on social media. And, you know, this is a big blow to the franchise, everything. But, you know, they're going to have to somehow do a creative shift from this. Alright, let's on to this next topic. Another Scream topic, apparently. That, according to Variety, Jenna Ortega has exited Scream 7 due to Wednesday Season 2. Now, she didn't get fired or anything. She just couldn't do it. And I totally understand why she wouldn't be able to do it. Wednesday made her popular. Made her a... what's the phrase for it? You know, a top talent, you know. she's in the S tier of actors right now. She's very popular, and she did the Scream movies. She did 2 Scream movies. She did Scream Before Wednesday when she was still kind of like unknown at the time. But she's a very popular now, and I would say she would choose Wednesday over that because what would you rather do? Go back to the Scream franchise or go work with Tim Burton again, one of the best directors of all time, in my opinion, on season 2 of Wednesday, which had stellar ratings. I think you choose Wednesday. And, it's another big blow to the franchise for Scream, because now you're losing your second main star. Because, even if, Melissa Barrera was fired, you maybe still had Jenna Ortega, but now you don't have Jenna Ortega. So what you going to do now? And, these stories came out very close to each other. And, she's also going to be, I'm pretty sure, in Beetlejuice 2, which is going to take away much more time, which is another Tim Burton project. So Jenna Ortega and Tim Burton are collabing a lot. And, maybe she wanted to move away from the Scream franchise. She had to make a decision, and I think I'm not going to get mad for her decision. I think there's also a lot of Scream fans out here who might be upset about this. But you got to understand, Hollywood is a business, guys. It's a business, These actors, they can only be in certain... Like, if there was, 2 of Jenna Ortega, I bet she would have been in Scream 7. But there's not, guys. They have to choose what's best for their careers. And, and I believe Jenna Ortega, she wants to be in maybe a bit more high-level stuff. I'm not saying Scream is a low level, but, you go into the Scream movies and you expect a thing. I've never watched Scream. I know there's a lot of horror fans of it. I think I almost saw Scream 6, but then I backed out because I'm like, oh, I don't know. I haven't seen the other movies. I don't know if I'm going to stand everything. And, that's a big thing now, with films. And this isn't really about Jenna Ortega, but it turns people off. You're like, oh, there's 7 Scream films. How am I going to watch it? They did, I think 5 and 6 were probably some of the best Scream movies that I heard. 6 was really good and 5 was really good. But, they keep having people in this franchise wanting to leave. But, I'm really happy, that we're going to get season 2 of Wednesday, and she's going to focus on that more than this franchise. But, yeah, so let's go on to we got another Scream topic. This is from Variety, again. It says, Scream 7 faces full creative reboot after losing Jenna Ortega, looking at Neve Campbell, who played the main character in the original ones and also appeared in 5, and Patrick Dempsey on wish list. Now this, I think, is the way to go right now. Because you just lost 2 of your main actors who were the stars of your last movie, not going to be in this movie. So, what do you do now? Do you go back to the original? Or do you kind of go with a new character again? This would be the 3rd reboot. No, I think they tried to reboot it before. This would be the 4th reboot for the franchise. 3rd or 4th reboot. And, I think with all this going on, you just need to go back to the beginning. Or maybe just not make the movie. Maybe you don't make Scream 7 right now. Maybe you wait until maybe you talk to Jenna Ortega and say, hey, we're not going to do Scream 7 now, but what are you going to be maybe 2026, 2027? You just kind of dial it back. You got to do a full creative reboot, which is what they're doing, which I think is a really good idea. And I don't know if it's the right decision to go back to Neve Campbell or look at Patrick Dempsey, because Neve Campbell, she said she doesn't want to do Scream anymore. She's done 5 movies, or 5 or 4 movies in the Scream franchise. After that, you probably are kind of done. I think, and I was surprised to see Patrick Dempsey up there, because he is in the new Eli Roth Thanksgiving horror movie, which doesn't really look so appealing to me. Which I'm not a huge horror guy. There's horror I enjoy. I enjoy Resident Evil, probably one of my favorite video game franchises. I want to say that I enjoy the sappiness of those movies, but I just don't know where you go from here. I don't know what you do now since you lost your 2 main stars. Where do you go? Do you focus on do you make some of the more side characters the main characters now? Who knows? But maybe you just show Scream for now, and you wait until the right time to bring it back. But yeah, so that's going to be what I have to say on that. That's all we got for Scream. That's all the drama on Scream. Let's go on to more good news. Let's end this with this last topic, which is some good news. According to Variety, Superman Legacy adds Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen and Sarah Samparo as Eve Tessmacher. Now, I've been very interested who they're going to be cast as Jimmy Olsen in Superman Legacy. And I gotta say, Skylar Gisondo was on my top tier list for Jimmy Olsen. And I'm so glad they got him. I'm so glad James Gunn got him. You know, when you watch the reboot of Vacation, you know, not the reboot, but kind of like the sequel, whatever you want to call it, he was so funny in this. And, you know, we haven't had a Jimmy Olsen in a movie for a long time, you know. We've had the Supergirl Jimmy Olsen, which that to me, like, it wasn't Jimmy Olsen. Because, like, when I look at Jimmy Olsen, I look at, like, you know, the skinny photographer of the Daily Bugle. And, you know, seeing him suit up as a superhero, you know, as Guardian, and I'm gonna say this, I love Mehcad Brooks. You know, that's the guy who played Jimmy Olsen's Supergirl. I think he was really good. But, you know, when I watched him, like, I didn't really see Jimmy Olsen as that character, you know, and he played Guardian, you know, I didn't really see him, and he was Jackson Mortal Kombat, which I thought he was awesome in, but I'm so glad we're going back to, like, a Jimmy Olsen who is going to be comedic character, you know, he's going to break the tension in the room, you know, he's going to be following, like, you know, when the Jimmy Olsen I really liked was what they just did in the new My Adventures with Superman animated show that they just did. And they had a Jimmy Olsen who was like, he was a streamer, you know, he had his own YouTube channel and all that. And I really liked that Jimmy Olsen. And he was very funny. And, you know, I really liked that character. And Jimmy Olsen, I think the characters you gotta get in this movie, right, are Clark, Lois, and Jimmy. Those are your guys. You know, Jimmy's the photographer, Lois Lane is the prime reporter, you know, she's the up and rising reporter, and Clark's the newbie reporter, learning the ropes. And, you know, Jimmy's with him too. And I don't know if they're going to do the same approach as they did in My Adventures with Superman, but I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with this character. And I think they got a really good actor, an actor who we haven't really seen in a while, and he's finally getting, you know, to be in this major motion picture that James Gunn's doing. And I hope for the best with him. Now, let's go on to the other casting. Sarah Sampaio as Eve Tessmacher. Now, when I hear the Eve Tessmacher, I think of John Cryer saying, "Miss Tessmacher!" That's what I think of when I think of her. And I don't know where they're going to set her up as. Is she going to be like an assistant in Daily Bugle, or is she going to be working for Lex Luthor, who's being played by Nicholas Hoult, which we discussed in an earlier video this week, that Nicholas Hoult is being playing Lex Luthor. But I don't know much about the Eve Tessmacher. I know probably as much what I know about her is from Supergirl. And, you know, I don't know if that was so accurate to the character, but it gets me intrigued to see, like, where we're going. Like, how are all these characters going to fit in? Now, I want to talk about, like, how are they all going to fit in together, you know? How is Superman going to fit into this? How is Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Guy Gardner, Hawker, how are they going to fit into all this? You also got characters like Luthor. Like, I'm really interested to see the story that's going to be this. And, you know, I think, like, maybe once we get some set pictures from the set, because they're going to start amping up filming soon, because this is coming out July 2025. And I'm just so excited to see what's going on. You know, I've already seen pictures of David Cornsweet. You know, he's looking jacked. He's looking like a new Henry Cavill. You know, I'm already, like, really excited to see his take on Superman. And I'm really excited to see all these other characters show up. And I just want to see what the story's going to go, guys. I think we all do. You know, what type of story, you know? We all thought this was going to be like there's a crisis in the Middle East. That was going to be the story. But then, like, James Gunn said, no, that's not the story. You know, it's going to be something else. Like, is Lobo going to be in this movie? Like, what's going on? You know, I think this is a movie you need to get right. You know? And I like that James Gunn went young for this cast, because he's expecting these people to be in this franchise for probably the next 5 to 10 years. And I'm excited that most of these guys are known, but not really known. Guys like David Cornsweet, who just came off, doing Pearl. This is his first major movie. Rachel Brunson, who's been killing on the TV series with The Marvelous Miss Maisel, getting like kind of her first chance to go up to the movie level. Nicholas Hoult, who's been big, but he's never really been appreciated for what he's done. He just did Renfield, which he was great in. He was Beast in X-Men, but that's kind of an unforgettable role for him because Beast, he kind of like wasn't everyone's favorite character when you think of X-Men. He was in Warm Bodies, which he was really good in, and we're gonna see where this cast can go and see if James Gunn can put some of that Guardians of the Galaxy and that Suicide Squad magic into telling a really good Superman story. Now, I said that was my final topic, but I'm going to go into one more topic. This is our major one, but this is kind of like another final mini topic, and because it's a rumor, not confirmed. So basically, this report came out that they were eyeing Silver Surfer to be a woman in the Fantastic Four movie, which they're thinking he might be in. Now we got reports of a rumored actress to be in it is Anya Taylor-Joy, which I'm a big fan of. Say what you want about New Mutants. She was great, I think, as Magic, and as an X-Men fan, I really enjoyed seeing Magic in there. And it wasn't the greatest movie, but she really rose to fame when she did the Queen's Gambit, which I watched that series. That was one of the most entertaining series that I've been that I was really into that year. And also, she's gonna be starring in the new Frank. I think it's George Miller, Mad Max like spinoff of Ferosa with Chris Hemsworth, and we're gonna be getting some more I think a trailer or some more news on it at the upcoming CXB in Brazil. It was confirmed on the Warner Bros. Instagram the other day. But her playing Silver Surfer, I'm not gonna lie saying that I don't know if Silver Surfer should be a woman. I'm not saying because he's the main comic, so she can't play. It's just the only taste that the general audience has gone to Silver Surfer was through that god awful Fantastic Four Rise of Silver Surfer movie, where they did Galactus dirty, and they did my boy Silver Surfer a bit dirty. I was first introduced to the Silver Surfer character through when I was probably in middle school through a show called The Superhero Squad, and that show showed Silver Surfer who was comedic, and it's probably not the best comic representation, but the Silver Surfer I saw was really cool. They went into the dark Silver Surfer. He's relationship with Thanos and Infinity Gauntlet, stuff with Galactus, And if they are going Galactus for this movie, I hope they really do it right, because they didn't do it right last time. But I think that there's another Herald that I think that maybe that she should play. So, there is a Herald called Nova. And, not the Richard Rider Nova, not the Sam Alexander Nova. She is kind of she's kind of like Johnny Storm, she's filled with this cosmic radiation through her whole body. And she has a relationship with Silver Surfer. So I think maybe we might be getting more than one, it's not accuser, but heralds, There's so many heralds in the history of Galactus, Silver Surfer is the most notable. There's also Tetrax. There's also, I just mentioned Nova. And then he also has these 4-element heralds, that don't speak. They're just kind of elementals, kind of like what we saw in kind of like the villains in Spider-Man Far From Home, but they're more powerful, more dangerous. One controls fire, one controls wind, one controls water, and one controls earth. And we saw this in this old the 2000 cartoon when Avengers started coming out called Avengers vs. Mighty Heroes. It was the final arc of the series where Galactus came to Earth and all the heroes had to come together to beat him, and they all went on separate missions to stop these heralds. Now, personally, for me, I would love to see more heralds if they did like if they did a Nova movie, because I think because Tetrax and Nova, they have a pretty deep history in the comics, and I'd be very interested to see that. But I think Anya Taylor-Joy, you want to get a big name in the cast. That's another big name rumored in the cast, other than Pedro Pascal. You get her in it, and maybe she plays Silver Surfer, and I'm not gonna be upset, guys. It doesn't, because at the end of the day, we're gonna go see this movie. And if she gives a good performance or not, we're not even going to remember, 2 years from now, that we've been complaining that they're going to make Silver Surfer a woman. We're not going to complain about that. Honestly, I just want to see a good movie. That is all I want. I want to see a good Fantastic Four movie. Because they've already tried this. They've already tried Fantastic Four 3 times. 2, subpar movies and 1 very, very bad movie. And it hasn't worked. And if you look at the history of Fantastic Four, they have not been popular in the comics. So I think if they can get they gotta get talent, they gotta get a good script, and I believe in Matt Shakman. I loved WandaVision, and I loved how weird it got. And it didn't matter how weird it was; it got better every week. And I believe in Matt Shakman as a director. I believe in that. And he was gonna do Star Trek. He's doing this now, so I'm gonna trust him completely. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's episode of Let's Talk About It. If we get any more upcoming news this week, I'll be reporting it as soon as possible. And we got a few special things coming out in December. We got our Spider-Man 2 walkthrough / gameplay, which I'm reacting to for the first time. I'm very excited for that. We got Rebel Moon coming out. Yeah, Rebel Moon. We got What If Season 2. We got Percy Jackson. So I'm really looking forward to what's coming up. So make sure you like the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. And go check out all my other socials. And I'll see you next time.